Hey ratbags, I'm back with another Nightingale video. A few days ago I showed you one of the dev diaries that had even more gameplay, taking a look at the deeper mechanics of Nightingale, particularly the lore, story and more. And we've got another Q&A session in their Discord. They do this on a monthly basis, and I actually missed last month's one as I was busy prepping and doing work for Grounded on my second channel. So I really want to cover this. I'm going to be all over Nightingale and I'm going to start doing weekly video recaps. So stay tuned for that. I will be delivering everything you need to know about Nightingale all the way up until launch. Today though, a whole ton of answers, and as I said, I did miss last month's one, so I'm going to do them at the same time. Conveniently, their community manager breaks it down into sections. Thank you very much, Steph. So let's go with everything that's been revealed recently about Nightingale. A big question of Nightingale is the building mechanics. It seems to be pretty free and a pretty involved prospect. You will be building up your own settlements, your own forts or estates. You may have to protect them against enemies that may attack. But where can you build? Will I be able to build inside a cliff face, big trees or cave ceilings? What kind of restrictions are there going to be in any given realm? Good news, not many. Other than the normal stuff that you expect, like sharp incline angles or objects blocking placement, like some of the ruins that we'll encounter, you will be able to build pretty much almost anywhere. Are you going to be able to use paints in Nightingale? Will you be able to decor to your heart's content? This month they've simply said more about that will be revealed in the future. Now they cover this in their dev diary recently about having more than one respite home. You can only have one respite realm at a time, but you will be able to build in any of the realms that you open and explore. The respite homes can be shared with other players, so other players can come to your world, or you can obviously have your own respite realms. Thinking is of course that you'll play together and you'll be able to do stuff together. Not 100% clear whether or not these respite realms will be able to be accessed if that one player isn't around. I'm guessing not, but you never know. They have also confirmed a bit later on that servers, there'll only be official ones at launch. There won't be any private or rentable servers. That'll be something they'll maybe consider afterwards. They're not exactly what they said, but they definitely said only official at launch. So you will be able to play with randoms if you want to too. But yeah, your respite realm will be that one realm that doesn't close down, or you won't lose it forever when you go and explore a new one. You'll always have that place to come back to. It's where you'll respawn when you die, and then you'll have to go back through the portal to go and get your stuff or whatever, carry on exploring the next realm. I haven't said what happens to bases if you move your respite realm. You can change the respite realm to another one, so I'm guessing there's going to be some way that we'll be able to get some of our stuff maybe. Want to customize stuff like your chests and be able to write in game? It's not something they're currently looking at. Going back to last month's Q&A, someone's asked about attacks on the estate. What kind of warning ahead of the attack will we have to avoid being in a different realm when it starts? Or is this part of the survival risk we have to balance with our defenses? At the moment, they're not going to set some attacks off when you're not at home. Risk to your estate comes either when you're connecting to another realm or at night being attacked. The latter is something players will be able to mitigate in their estate. So clearly, if we're going to get more attacks at night, more mobs come out, just like a lot of games like Minecraft and more, then you'll know not to maybe go running off at 10 to midnight to go and explore another realm. But it does look like they've definitely got this safety net of not having the attacks happen when you're not at home. Is there going to be traps and base structure upgrades for base defending in the game? It's something they definitely want to think about. They're going to be able to upgrade your structures, but they haven't got actually physical traps planned for the early access release at the moment. Moving on to combat, and someone has asked how it's going to work with discovering unlocking recipes for crafting. Is there going to be rare challenging discoveries such as boss weapons or rare decorative sets? Or are players expected to end up unlocking most or all discoveries through basic gameplay? They've said part of the reward for players is exploring and taking on tougher challenges. So I'm guessing that there will be certain things you just can't get unless you go and explore and take on a certain creature or monster. How deep are the spells going to be in Nightingale? Is there going to be a large variety of attacks as well as support spells, or will it be very simple like wind, fire? They're aiming for a large variety. At the start of early access it's going to be something like 10, but we'll continue adding them. We're planning a variety of spells ranging from utility to combat. We believe it's a major part of the Realm Walker fantasy. More questions about firearms. It's a big focus of the game. Pretty much everyone's got some sort of gun on them. How customizable are they going to be? How realistic will they be? Can they have modifications? The main point of customization for your weapons is going to be ammo types and obviously what type of gun it is. A revolver is going to be different from a break action rifle and could be using slugs, birdshot or fire ammo. The resources used to craft the firearms determine various attributes like damage, weight or durability. Tools are more customizable in terms of abilities since players will be able to enchant them with spells. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting pretty excited about going back to the Minecraft days and putting some decent buffs on a pickaxe. People are of course intrigued by crafting. How's it going to work with rarities or stats? Can weapons or tools be found in the realms, or are they strictly crafted? I didn't really want to talk about it but it's definitely going to be coming in a future community update. How is the cooking system being developed? Are you going to have meat and then maybe some vegetables like a carrot to make a full meal? 3 different vegetables, meat, spices, etc. Will there be ingredients only found in certain realms? Or will you be able to craft a similar but different recipe or meal in each realm? They want to deliver a rich and varied set of recipes. A lot of it is going to be down to how they're prepared. So there's a whole subset of ingredients or recipes that are roasted. So you get 5 roasted berries, 5 roasted mushrooms, and these will restore hunger. But the bonuses are different because you use different ingredients. In terms of breadth of recipes and ingredients, that's still expanding. Moving on to difficulty and progression, how is it going to play out? Is there going to be a tutorial, or are we going to be able to free roam around the realms? Like most survival crafting games, Nightingale is going to provide players a lot of freedom in what you want to pursue as a goal and how you complete it. However, through NPC quests, there's also a narrative progression that players can pursue. So one that's come up before, they've said there's going to be no leveling up, but I swear they did mention something about some sort of skill tree in the past. Here they're answered directly, there is no leveling mechanic in the game. Progression will be based on the recipe, materials and encounters realm walkers discover. We're still working on overall balance at the moment, so we'll have a better idea of how users progress closer to launch. When it comes to player and character, obviously again leading on from that question, your gear determines what kind of character you are. Your loadouts will give you your gameplay capabilities, so obviously your loadout is going to be different from another player because you'll have different discoveries unlocked. This is why they want you to build the estates together, have maybe that respite realm all in the same place so you can help each other out, craft each other weapons and armour. On top of that, someone's asked whether or not we'll be having roles when we begin our selection screen. Stamina, intelligence, health. At the moment they're looking at different character roles during character creation, but this will offer a narrative background as well as a unique outfit. They're still working on any gameplay implications, but we believe it will be minor at launch. A lot of games do this, they're really small, they just give you a buff for the first few hours, then after that you can pretty much level them off with other upgrades or with your weapons and armour. Someone's asked whether or not we're going to have the arc kind of a body creator, which has always been a bit goofy. They've simply said they'll have more details on character creation and customization in the future, but I'm really hoping not. I appreciate everyone wants to maybe model their character a bit differently, but the extremes that Arc really did just made the game feel a little bit comical after a while. And actually it was something they never in plans to actually have long term. It was just thrown together and they always planned to actually update it. I just never got around to it and decided to leave it. So moving on to realms, when opening up portals, is there going to be an invalid combination of cards to open up portals to an empty realm or limbo, or maybe allow things to accidentally invade your realm until you can close it? Potentially in future, initially it will be more about players learning how they can find various card recipes and use combinations of those to explore realms. That was partly new info we got in the dev diary recently. There's major and minor cards. Some of the major ones will be setting out what kind of biome it's going to be. Swamp, desert, mountains or forest or whatever. And then the minor cards, these are the ones that will differentiate whether or not there's going to be a bigger amount of enemies, what kind of weather effects there might be. The major ones can be reused, but the minor ones will, I do believe, burn up after one use. Someone's asking if there's going to be a building limiter, but how many pieces will you be able to place? Obviously there will be some limits for performance reasons, and they'll absolutely have this nailed down once they begin early access. When these realms open, how much control do we have? Is there a timer or something else that determines how long they stay open? We're full in control. We can cut off access to that realm whenever we want. If it isn't set as a respite point and you close it, you'll permanently obviously lose access to it. Although they have said there's going to be a 10-minute timer before it's permanently lost in the inter-realmic void. The realms themselves are going to be a full 60-minute full day night cycle. Although some realm cards may offer or seemingly feel a bit maybe longer in daytime or bit nighttime, but that's roughly this scale they're working with. Again, reconfirming that if you die in another realm, then you'd always respawn back at your respite realm. A little bit about lore and world building. Is there going to be different ambient sounds for each realm or creature themes? At the moment they're planning on bespoke biome themes. Areas like the Fey Ruins, Towers, Caves will have their own music, and apex creatures will have their own combat music. When it comes to creatures, you will find they have their own system, so they will kind of kill each other or go to war. So you will always find predators trying to attack prey. A big part of Nightingale is interacting with the Fae. Different parts of the Fae actually like us or really hate us, and that may be based on season, with the winter one being one that doesn't like humans and made the Bound the creatures that will mostly be attacking us, I think. So are we going to be able to interact with all the factions, and how's that going to impact gameplay? Most Fae and humans organise themselves into factions, with more being introduced over the course of your realm walking adventures. All factions, whether Fae or human, can provide opportunities for lore and storytelling. Part of the mystery though is to uncover who is friend and who is foe in the realms, and who can help you play the way you'd like to. So I like the idea that maybe the evil Fae, while still hating your guts, they still might offer an opportunity for you to learn maybe dark arts, or certainly get some more gear that you wouldn't get just by siding with the good guys. A few questions from survival: are there going to be animations for skinning things like boars and creatures, or will it just be simply added to our inventory when we kill it? Currently the player needs to interact with the creature with their skinning knife and then collect the resources. When it comes to navigation tools, are we going to be able to use UI based overlays like a compass menu map, or is it something we're going to actually have to hold? They've said it's more UI based overlays like a map or compass, but players will be able to craft a spyglass as well. So moving on to the miscellaneous questions. What's the inventory or excess inventory system going to be like? Will it slow us down if we have too much gear? They've said we're going to have limited inventory, and there is an encumbrance system. They'll reveal more about this in the future. When we have new discoveries, when we find stuff like a new creature or a realm combination or biome, is that going to be made in some sort of journal to add a bit more immersion, maybe even drawings and stuff? They said a player has a journal that will track what they've discovered and hint at what else there is for them to find. How customizable is the UI going to be? Will you be able to turn off certain elements or move them around on the screen? The UI is something that will continue to evolve until the start of early access and beyond. They're going to share more details at launch. People asking for maybe customization for local languages. It does look like Chinese is on their radar, but it won't be there at launch. When are we going to see even more gameplay? It looks like there's going to be more footage dropped towards the end of the year now. And is there going to be musical instruments in the game? They've said not an early access, but it's a cool idea for later. So there we go, a big chunky session from the past two Q&As. Apologies I didn't catch that first one. Like I said, I was knee deep in Grounded launch. But like I said, going forward now, I'm going to find something to talk about, whether it's the lore, the story, the maps, the world building, hopefully showing more art, or any interviews the devs are doing on a weekly basis. And of course, any big announcements, I'll be there to cover it as well. So do make sure you're subscribed, show YouTube you want to see more of this content on my channel by liking it, and I'll see you rat bags later.